Welcome to another Gmail tutorial. Today we're going to be covering on attaching images to an email, and in the next video we're going to be covering attaching files to an email. So let's get started. So I have a draft right here. I'll expand it, and I've already filled in the name who I'm sending it to, myself, the subject, and some quick text which will be the roadmap for what we're doing today. So there's two ways to attach an email. One is as an attachment where it goes below, and the second is as an inline image. And then to do these things, there's three different ways that you can attach an email or do inline images, and that's with the button, drag and drop, or as a URL. So down here at the bottom we have 7 different icons in addition to the send and the delete button. We've already covered formatting options, so I'm just going to collapse that. And then the attach files and insert files using Google Drive we'll cover in the next video. In a future video we may cover send and request money, inserting links, and insert emoticons. For right now though, we're covering inserting photos, so that would be the button option. So you can click on that, and then this screen comes up, and you can either choose photos to upload, and that'll bring up a Finder window and you can find where your file is on your computer, or you can just drag and drop your photos here. Now first off, I have inline selected. Let me show you that you can either do inline or as an attachment. I'm going to choose as an attachment for this first example, and then drag my photo, and then it begins to upload. And once it's uploaded, it appears down at the bottom as an attachment, and when this name, the name of your file, turns blue, you know that it's attached. Until it turns blue, it hasn't fully attached. So that's how you do an attachment photo. If you want to do an inline image, you choose where you want the image to be dropped. So in this case, my cursor is going to be below this number 2. You go back to this, make sure inline is selected, and then just drag and drop your photo in. It begins to insert it, and then once it's inserted, it goes where your cursor was, and it is attached inside your email. It's in the body of your email. So those are how you do attachments and inline images using the button, but to do that I really have to do at least 2 different steps. I have to hit the insert button, and then I have to drag and drop my photo here, and that's the easiest way. I could also choose a photo to upload and find it, and that takes a while. So an easier method is, okay, so I'm going to delete this photo right now, and I'm going to delete this attachment. An easier way to do that is choose where you want your image to be dropped as an inline image, and just drag it in, let go, and it will upload in the same way that we do by clicking the button and dragging it. This drag and drop is pretty quick and pretty effective. Now you might be asking, well, that's great for inline images, but how do I attach images where it just shows up at the bottom? What if I don't want it? What if it's a large photo and I don't want it to take up a lot of space in my email? Well, the easiest thing for that is you drag it, but instead of dropping it in the body of your email, you drop it down in this little section where there's the buttons. And when you drop it there, notice it says drop to attach right here. If I go out of that area, it still says it, but basically what it means is I have to drop the to attach in this section. So if I drop it here, notice it uploads it, and once it's uploaded, a couple seconds later it turns blue. That means that it is now attached. So that's 2 methods. Now the third method is really interesting, and that's the URL method. To do that, we do have to go to Insert Photo, and notice there's 2 tabs right here. There's the Upload tab, and there's the Web URL. And what that means is, if you have the web address of any photo on the internet, all you have to do is paste that web address right here, and you can show it in your email. So I'm going to go over to Google, just the main page, and this Google logo is an image. So I can right click on that. I can go down to copy image address, so I copy the URL that this image is at. I go back over here and I paste it in. It shows me a preview of what it'll look like, and oh, really fast, notice that it doesn't say insert as an inline image or insert as an attachment. For this method, you can only do inline images. So I click insert, and then lo and behold, the Google logo appears where my cursor was, which was at the bottom of the screen. So that is how you do images in an email. Really fast, I want to do two more things. One is show you about images. You can, if you have an inline image, you can click on it and you can choose the size you want it to be. So you can choose small, which will be really small. You can choose original size, or you can choose best fit. In this case, the best fit is the original size because it's a pretty small picture. The last option is that you can grab these handles and actually expand it, resize it how you want. I'm just going to go with best fit. And then the final thing is you can hit remove, or you could just put your cursor in front of the image, see it's blinking right there, and just hit the delete button or the backspace, and it would delete that image. And then the second thing, I'm going to send this email to myself, and then I'm going to go to the desktop, and we can see how it shows up. So if you have large images, it might take a second or two to load. Notice when we went here that it took a second for that image to load, even though it's pretty small. So if your images are too large, you might think about maybe making them smaller before you put them in the email, if you want it to be an inline image. If it's an attachment, no worries. So yeah, notice how this Google logo actually showed up faster than the inline image. Here, let me show you again. So I click on it, instantly that shows up, but the inline image takes a second to load. So if you have images on a photo sharing website and you want to show it to some friends, it might be better to copy the web address of that photo sharing website, like Picasa or Google Photos or whatever photo sharing website, Facebook. Copy the web address and paste and use the URL, because those photos will actually show up faster since they're not using any of your memory for the email. It's just using the URL or where they're stored by the other place. And then the last thing is that image that we attached, instead of it just being a name here that's blue, it is now Gmail shows a preview of it. So Gmail will try and show previews of all of your attached files, the ones that show up at the bottom. If you use another email client, it may just show the name of the file, and you can click on it and download it. But Gmail's nice in that it tries to show you not just the name of the attachment, but a preview of what the attachment looks like. So in a nutshell, that is how you attach images to an email, and we covered the button method, the drag and drop method, and it erased the URL word, but the URL method as well. So hopefully this was useful, and I will see you next time in the attaching files tutorial. Okay, bye.